Hi, my name is Tamara, and you are watching Things Even a Monkey Should Know. Thanks for joining me again today. My hope is that these videos will help you to do some of the fix-its around your house you may or may not know that you can do. As you already know, I am not a professional. I'm just a girl who has figured out that there are a lot of things around the house that I can actually do that would cost hundreds or sometimes even thousands of dollars to have someone else come in and do them. So as you've probably already figured out, this week is a continuation of last week's segment when I was showing you how to change out the different parts on your tools that can get worn out, such as sanding discs and belts and things like that. So let's continue this week. So the first tool that we're going to look at is a circular saw. This is a really fantastic saw, and if you don't have room for a miter saw or a radial arm saw, which is the kind of saw that's on a stand, has a big base, and you just kind of, you can basically chop wood on it. This is a really great alternative to have. This saw can cut just about anything, and it all depends on what blade you get for it. There's blades to cut metal. I don't know if I would do that. It's probably going to be a pretty rough cut. But you can cut hardy board, the concrete board siding kind of stuff. You can cut all different types of wood. You can make, whenever you see a rough cut on a piece of wood, one that looks kind of raggedy, it means that it was made by a blade like what I have on here now, which has not so many teeth. It's a 40-tooth blade. The fewer of the teeth your blade has on it, the rougher the cut's going to be. Today I'm going to change it out to this other blade, which has 150 teeth on it. And this is more of a sort of a finishing blade. So if you don't want to have a real jaggedy edge to your cut, that's the blade that you would get. So it's real easy, actually, to change this out. And this time I'm going to stand up to do this. This one, actually, I really like it because it has the tool included on it that you change with. And again, this is the case, you always want to have these things unplugged, because if by some freakish chance this happened to go off, you would probably lose your finger or your hand or something else. So you have to pull the guard up and get the guard out of the way. Well, never mind, not yet. You have to hold on to the blade, actually, which is really freaking awkward. And then notice I'm not holding on to the teeth. And again, this is extra awkward for me because I'm trying to show you and you're not here. So I'm holding on to either side of the blade. And normally I would actually move the guard up so I could get to the blade a little bit better, but oh well. Anyways, I got this bolt in the middle loosened. I'm just going to screw it out. And it's got a little piece that holds the blade on. So now would be the time, definitely, that I have to move the guard back. And you just lift the blade up and slide it out of its spot, and then put the new blade in. And it slides in the same way, and you want to make sure that that you have it going the correct direction. Usually it's going to be the lettered side out, but it tells you, which way. So I'm going to, feels like it's a little bit, there it goes. It wasn't quite on there all the way. There we go. Okay, so see, this has, it's not perfectly round, so you know exactly how it's supposed to fit on there. And you just put that piece on and put the screw back in. It's easier to hand tighten, and you always hand tighten, and don't over tighten because you will never be able to change your blade again if you get it on there too tightly. So I'm just going to let the guard go back. I'm going to hold on to the blade again. Unfortunately, there's no button to push to make the blade sit still, so you just have to grab it, being very careful not to cut yourself. And then you just tighten that little bolt in the middle. And that's it. And now you're ready to saw. So the next saw that we're looking at is one of my favorites, actually. It's a Jigsaw, and it is a pretty fantastic little saw. Whenever you need to make cuts that are shapes, not just straight lines, which is what the circular saw is really good for, then you use a jigsaw. And the jigsaw can cut pretty much any shape that you want. And it can cut wood, plastic, metal, PVC, whatever, cardboard. It's just great. It's really versatile. And so you can get, I actually got a kit, not a kit, but a set that has, well, somehow I can't figure out how to get it open. There we go. That has multiple blades in it. And the great thing about this one, and a lot of them are like this, is that you can just, the blade's so easy to change. Now the only thing that you have to remember is that there's two different types of ends to the blades. And well, they're called shanks, and they have T shanks and they have U shanks. And you want to make sure that you get the appropriate type of shank for yours. So this one is a T. This saw can actually take either kind. It doesn't matter, but with some saws it really does. So this one uses a T, and you can just change out to that blade. So all that I have to do to change out this saw is there's a little hook sort of thing here, and I'm just going to pull it back, and the blade just drops out. It's so easy. I love it. And to put a blade back in, you keep that thing pulled back, and there's a little track down here in the bottom, and you just shove this blade right back up in there and let that piece go, and it's stuck. It's great. And now you're ready to saw. Okay, so I know you're probably looking at this one and thinking, oh, you're nuts. Why would I have a chainsaw? Well, the truth is that I know that a lot of people that would like to get a chainsaw, but they're just afraid of using them. And they're not any more difficult of a tool to use than anything else. It's just, you need to be, just be respectful of them as you are with other tools. Know that they can easily sever a limb or a finger, or, just be careful. So, if you have a lot of trees in your yard, or any trees in your yard, you probably get fallen branches now and then, and a chainsaw is going to help you with that. Now, there's a lot of smaller versions. I'm using this one because it's easier to show you how to change the chain on it, because it's just bigger. But there's a lot of small, inexpensive ones that I also have one of those. And whenever I just need to pull out a saw to get rid of some tree tracks that's fallen in the yard, it's very simple, and it's so much easier than trying to use, those big loppers or anything else to cut it up. So to change this, you want to loosen these nuts here, and notice I am missing a nut, which I did not know, so that is actually very good for me to know. And your chainsaw is almost always going to have a tool that comes with it that's going to fit these nuts, because these are pretty important. So you just slip off this cover, and then pretty much your saw is going to be free. You've got the chain sitting right here around this gear, and this right here is where you loosen and tighten the chain. Sometimes in the course of using it, the chain will get loose like that, just from binding in a tree piece or whatever. Well, in order to get this out of here, we do have to have the chain loose. So, see how I just took that off? Very easy. Came right off. There's the old chain. Here's the new chain. You do have to make sure that you have the appropriate size of chain for it. And now this is something that always gets me. You're gonna think I'm nuts. I've put chains on backwards more times than I can count. If I would just look at the little display that this has that you probably can't see, but it shows exactly how the chain should look when it goes on there. So this is so very easy. I hope you can see this. And I'm trying to leave this the bar attached up here because it's easier to do that, and also so that you can see better. So the bar actually has a track in it, see, and the teeth on the chain fit into that track. These are the inner teeth. This is what actually does the cutting on the outside. I'm going to put the bar back on. Oops. And again, I'm going to look and make sure that I have this going in the correct direction, because in there I didn't. Because my inclination is always to put it on the wrong way, not on purpose. It's just what happens. And I'm just lining up those teeth in that track on the bar. And I'm going to pull this back because it does have to go around the metal drive here at the end. There we go. And then I'm going to tighten it back up a little bit in this spot here, because I want to make sure that I have it lined up so that the bottom teeth will be in the track along the bottom of that bar also. Okay, so it's lined up. Just going to put the cover back on. Put the nut back in, and make a note that I have to get another one, because you don't want this flying off while you're using it. But these things are the gas ones like this are they vibrate so heavily that it probably vibrated that nut right off. And that's it. And that's how you change the chain on a chainsaw. And it's pretty easy. So if you have a small electric one, you can get those. I think mine cost about $40, and it's made my life so much easier. So, and they might be subtle variations to them, but they're basically going to work the same as this one. So I know that this doesn't fit in with all the fun stuff that we're doing with saws, but the last thing I wanted to show you is this is changing the drill ends. And it's so easy to do, but sometimes it seems like it must be really hard. So this is, as you know, a drill or driver, or drill driver, whatever you want to call it. This one is a really good size for me. It's 18 volt, which means that the battery isn't so honking big that I can't really control what I'm doing, and it makes my arms tired, but the battery still has a good life on it. The way that you change these, if you've watched one or two of my other videos, you probably know it's a pet peeve of mine to work with people who, this is called the chuck, and it's a keyless chuck, which means that there's no tool required to change out the end. There are people who grab the chuck and they'll unscrew it, and that's how they take the end out. And it's so slow, and when you're having to change between drill and screw, screw in, and it just takes so long when you have the power of the drill right here at your disposal. So if you just hold on to the chuck and say that if you're using the forward speed direction, that's what I was trying to say, then it makes the teeth inside, they close together, and going backward makes them open. So you just stick your drill piece, your drill bit in there, and tighten the teeth around it, and it's done. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you learned a little something. We've had a couple of weeks of insane cold here, so I haven't been doing much outside, but there are a couple things that I really need to get done, so I hope that the cold tamps down a little bit soon anyways. And until next time, stay warm.